Take a look at this position. A few days ago, I ended one of my lessons with this exact question. The comments were fascinating. Almost every answer had a really good idea behind it. So let's look at the first group of comments. They all started from the same question. What is white threatening? The biggest concern was the move knight b5. The bishop has to move, the rook gets stuck, and it doesn't look pleasant. Many intermediate players treat every possible threat as something that has to be stopped. Strong players usually ask a different question. What happens if I don't stop it? Because sometimes your opponent is actually helping you. So let's say white plays knight b5. The bishop steps back to b8, next is a6, the knight has to leave, and now black has a couple of options. We can return the bishop to d6, or bring it to a7, where it keeps putting pressure on the isolated pawn. Or we can simply leave the bishop on b8 for now and come back to it later if we need to. In other words, before solving a problem, we should first decide whether it is a problem at all. And once we stop thinking about threats that aren't really dangerous, a much better question appears. Instead of defending, what can we improve in our camp? Many viewers in the comments wanted to improve a piece, and one of the natural ideas is knight g6. The knight becomes active, it prepares knight h4, everything looks logical. But after queen d3, something interesting happens. If we take on f3, white simply captures our knight and avoids double pawns. And if we don't exchange, the knight is pinned thanks to the unpleasant queen h7 check. Another suggestion was improving the c6 knight via a5 and c4. But notice what we lose. The pressure on d4 disappears. We've improved the piece but weakened our coordination. Many of you wanted to activate the rook. There's an open file. So rook ac8 almost plays itself. But let's stop for a second. What exactly is this rook going to do there? White already has their own rook on the c file. The knight on c3 keeps us from entering, ever. Our knight on c6 already blocks white from entering, and neither side is really taking over that file. So yes, the rook becomes a little more active, but what have we actually achieved? Well, let's look at the position again. Black already has a very clear target, the knight on f3. The bishop is attacking it, the queen is supporting the pressure. So if that's our plan, should we bring another piece to join the attack? At first it looks strange. Rooks don't usually belong on the 7th rank like this. But this way it joins the attack, and all these pieces coordinate well. And that's the difference between activity and coordination. A piece can be active without helping your plan. Now there is one more idea we have to talk about. Quite a few of you suggested the e5 break. But what is really the change that this pawn break brings into the game? Let's pause for a moment and think about the position after the pawn break is done. Well, after e5, black gets rid of the backward pawn. White gets rid of the isolated pawn. Black gets a pass pawn, but that pass pawn also turns into a target for white. So the question shouldn't be, can black play e5? The better question is, why should black change a position that's already working? Because right now black has better coordination, more active pieces, clear targets on f3 and d4. So before changing the pawn structure, we should ask, what are we actually improving? And if the answer isn't clear, maybe the structure doesn't need changing yet. And I think that's the biggest lesson from this position. Several ideas were perfectly playable, but the real value isn't simply in finding a good move. It is in understanding why one idea deserves to come before another. So if I had to sum this position up, I'd say the main guidelines are: do not solve problems that aren't real, do not follow principles automatically, do not improve pieces just for the sake of improving them, and do not change the pawn structure unless the change actually improves your position. Instead, look for meaningful activity, not activity for its own sake. Now, before we finish, let me leave you with one more position. This time, don't try to find the best move. Use the same thinking we've been talking about. You're playing black. What's your plan? Let me know what you would play in the comments, and we'll come back to this position in the next lesson.